Chair and members of the committee. Child marriage means depriving a girl's child of the education, early birth, childbirth with the risk of disability and maternity mortality and families living in poverty. There are no comprehensive education program or strategy regarding reproductive health and rights in school and higher education institutions. There is no legal provision preventing child marriage in Georgian Civil Code. The law allows the children to be married with parent permission. In relation to committee question 1314 on health, abortion is legal. The government has introduced new legal barriers to increasing mandatory waiting period from 3 to 5 days. Medically unnecessary waiting periods fail to respect women's autonomy and do not influence women's decisions. They turn to unsafe abortion and put women's life and risk at health and risk. Only 35% of women use modern contraception. There is neither a law nor strategy in the development of family planning services in Georgia. HIV-positive women experience stigma discriminatory attitude from service providers, such as being charged higher rates by health service providers. There is an absence of state educational program or informational campaigns to decrease stigma and discrimination towards the HIV-positive women. The practice of sex-selective abortion reflects gender inequality in which girls are seen as an economic burden. The state has not introduced measures to tackle sex-selective abortion, and they consider sex-selective abortion as an integral part of reproductive health rights law. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
My second question is related to early marriage as a cause of school dropout. I acknowledge that overall, more girls attend to school than boys at primary and secondary level in the state party. However, according to the report of the public defender of 2013, more than 7,300 girls dropped the school at the level of the basic education, that is ages between 12 to 15, and it is assumed that the main reason is early marriages. Studies on Georgia shows a strong link between school dropout and child marriages. So I would like to know what kind of research has been conducted by the government itself to identify the reason of girls dropout from school, and if you acknowledge the link between early marriage and school dropout, and what kind of steps has been taken to combat this issue. So lastly, I'd like to ask the education, sexual and reproductive health rights. According to the introductory statement of this morning of the Madam Head of Delegation, the process of revising the national curriculum for year 2011 to 16 is underway. So on the other hand, alternative sources informs us that sexual rights, reproductive rights, health, and family planning issues are not in the school program. So I'm interested in knowing how the state party will promote age-appropriate sexual rights and reproductive health rights education, including HIV/AIDS information at the standard education program.
Actually, much concern about early and child marriages was already expressed today, and some of the delegation's responses addressed these concerns. I would still want to insist on a number of issues. First, I understand that to date, no comprehensive research was conducted in Georgia regarding the scale, motives, and consequences of this phenomenon. I believe the head of the delegation mentioned this, that it is a requirement when joining the Istanbul Convention. Could you provide us with details on whether, when, and how the government plans to embark on such a study? With respect to the legal regulation of this phenomenon, it is notable that de jure marriages below the age of 18 is void or are void, but the exceptions to the rule in fact dilute its functionality. The fact that parental consent suffices to give it effect opens the door to forced early marriages, driven by societal pressures and other reasons, such as we understand from alternative sources, deals that go on between parents. Is the government considering amending the law, Article 1108 to the Civil Code, to remove the possibility of parental consent, and to limit the discretion of the judicial permit, which currently the wording is very vague, just legitimate reasons? This should be narrowed to something like exceptional cases and demand explanation by the court in writing. this, from experience, I come from a country that just changed its law on child marriages in this respect. This is a very, very important step forward. Also, are you considering removing the possibility of obtaining majority when a 16 years old marries? There is a contradiction in the legal regulation there. If one can reach majority upon marriage, this of course sends a contradictory message to combating child marriages.
We understand from alternative sources that family planning services are mostly reliant on donor funding, and that donor provided free of charge contraceptives cannot meet the country needs, and also that contraceptives are not included in the list of essential medicines.
The second question was on family planning and on the prevailing practice, despite substantial progress, still prevailing practice of using abortion as one of the family planning measures. Unfortunately, this is the reality of Georgia, despite 3 times reduction in the actual abortion both numbers and the rates, and increase of contraceptive prevalence rate, still abortion remains as a choice of family planning, especially in rural areas and subnational areas. However, hereby I would like to mention that the government of Georgia already elaborated a very comprehensive and integrated regulation on abortion. Previously, there was no regulation, no national protocol regulating the abortion practices in the country. And we had 33,000 induced abortion annually based only on official statistics. The new regulations already includes the evidence-based protocol on implementation of both surgical and medication abortion. It includes provisions for information and education and counseling of the woman and the couple, because counseling section is extremely important. If the woman already made a decision to make the abortion, she will be given counseling to once again, reconsider this decision. But abortion is definitely the right of the woman. But we have to use every single abortion intervention as an opportunity to raise education and awareness on modern contraceptives and more safe family planning methods. The abortion regulations will enter in force latest in September 2014. A very wide representation of the Maternal and Child Health Board was working on the abortion regulations, and this will be soon approved and submitted to the parliamentary also approval. As for the selective abortion, here too, after the EU parliamentary observation and after a number of comments made by international partners, the new government administration of Georgia does recognize that we do have the problem of prenatal sex selection. At least the numbers, the statistics tell us that theoretically 1.09 gender balance is definitely a deviation from the standard charts. And on this issue, UNFPA and government of Georgia have already started a comprehensive survey and assessment of the situation on the ground. We will not only identify more precise numbers around selective abortion, but also identify the factors that substantiate the practice in the country. And the final report of the consultancy will be available by October, and starting from late 2014, we will introduce a very holistic and kind of wide-scale information education campaign, because again, the evidence says every country who has achieved a positive trend in terms of reducing selective abortion has focused on educating its public and educating the medical societies. On inclusion of the family planning commodities, Georgia recently got enrolled into the discussions around total market approach to contraceptions. As mentioned by the Vice Speaker of the Parliament, Georgia introduced universal health care in 2013. It required a substantial resource investment, so we have to be very selective in terms of any future expansion of financial resources for the program. But definitely we are considering, especially at least for the socially vulnerable populations, to ensure financial sustainability of donor-supported contraceptive commodities.